नामपंथी, दूसरा है वामपंथी, तीसरा है दाम और दमनपंथी और चौथा है जो हम लाए हैं विकासपंथी।
In what in English you will describe left of center or closest to what Gandhi would have said for this country.
ऐसे फ्रेजेस गढ़े जाते हैं जैसे आप सबने सुना होगा लेफ्ट लिबरल, कभी आपने
कुछ इंडियन लिबरल्स के
लेफ्ट विंग और राइट विंग.
Politics is a fascinating world, filled with a variety of ideologies like socialism, Marxism, liberalism, feminism, fascism, and more. But here's the kicker: most of these ideologies fall under two main categories. They are classified as left and right. Now, there are some ideologies that can't be neatly categorized, but the majority can. To understand this better, let's take a trip back to the French Revolution in 1789. During the National Assembly meetings in France, those who supported the ongoing monarchy system, mainly aristocrats and clergies, sat on the right side of the chairperson. They didn't want changes because they were benefiting from the system. On the left side sat those who opposed the system and supported the revolution as they felt deprived and wanted change. So, it was simple back then: supporters of the establishment were rightists and opponents were leftists. This terminology has been passed down through generations. However, this classification doesn't directly apply to India's political system. Different countries have different issues and elements in their societies. For instance, France didn't have a caste system like India, and America had racial issues that France didn't. It's crucial to understand that not everything in society and politics can be strictly classified as left or right. The world isn't just black and white, it has many shades of gray. We can think of it as a scale with left on one end and right on the other, with many ideologies falling somewhere in between. On the extreme right end of the scale, we have figures like Hitler, who believed in racial superiority and extreme measures. In India, current rightist parties like AIM and Shiv Sena favor specific communities, but not to the extreme of Hitler. The BJP is closer to the center, but still right-leaning due to certain ideologies favoring specific communities. On the left side, we see parties like the Indian National Congress, which is close to the center but left-leaning as it does politics of minority appeasement. Then moving forwards on left side, we see parties like Aam Aadmi Party, which has its own vote bank and form people from less fortunate end of our society. And officer, it also tends to shift its ideology from left to center or right according to political circumstances, which can be possibly lucrative from their political career. That is why we hear.
बहुत सारे efforts करने की ज़रूरत है, लेकिन वो efforts तब फलीभूत होते हैं जब देवी देवताओं का आशीर्वाद होता है। भारतीय करेंसी के ऊपर एक तरफ गांधी जी की तस्वीर है, वो वैसे ही रहनी चाहिए, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ श्री गणेश जी की और श्री लक्ष्मी जी की तस्वीर भारतीय करेंसी के ऊपर लगाई जाए। हम किसी के खिलाफ नहीं बोल रहे, हम ये नहीं कह रहे इसको हटाओ उसको रखो उसको हटाओ, किसी के भी खिलाफ नहीं है। और जब इंडोनेशिया कर सकता है तो हम भी कर सकते हैं, उसमें किसी को आपत्ति होनी नहीं चाहिए।
We have parties like SP, RJD, and JDU, focusing on votes from specific communities. At the extreme left in current scenario in India, we see rigid leftist parties like CPI, CPI, and CPI. Officer, they are not as extreme leftist as historical extreme leftists like Stalin from USSR, Mao from China, Pol Pot, etc. One of the characteristics of leftists is to keep religious identities separate from political matters, while rightists do bring in religious identities in matters of politics and governance. There are layers of social culture and economics in leftists and rightists as well. You can do some research on that. This analysis is meant for educational purposes, and we neither endorse nor oppose any political party. It's important to note that members within the same party can have different beliefs. For example, Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi had varying degrees of leftist ideologies. Just as Narendra Modi and Yogi Adityanath differ in their rightist beliefs, political parties also shift their ideologies for political gain. we see rightist parties like BJP discussing jobs and infrastructure, while leftist leaders like Rahul Gandhi perform public puja before elections. There are both liberal and autocratic types on both sides of the spectrum.
Liberals believe in a decentralized governance, while autocrats believe in centralized control. For example, Hitler was an autocratic rightist, Mao and Stalin were autocratic leftists.
In India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a liberal rightist, Narendra Modi is an autocratic rightist, Yogi Adityanath is even more so, and Mamata Banerjee is an autocratic leftist.
So, there you have it. A crash course in left and right in Indian politics. Politics might seem like a drag, but it's crucial. Our vote shapes our future. Stay informed, stay involved, and vote wisely. The power's in your hands.
Caveat to it. In one of my interviews, I have explained this in great detail, that some of the worst things in humanity have been done in the name and under the cover of ideology. It suits the leaders to bind you in this word called ideology so that they can justify whatever they want to do, and their followers or supporters, they are not supposed to be asking them any question. I don't subscribe to that view. I must have an ideology. Everyone should have an ideology, but that ideology should not force me to lose my objectivity.